I'm building a whole computer game in public on this YouTube channel. Before I start with this process, I have to set up everything in order to be able to track my build in public process. So that means I need to figure out what my tooling will look like, how my YouTube videos will create it, how I regularly update and publish blog articles around what I'm building, and also making all the knowledge, all the findings, and all the learnings that I'm getting out of this process for you accessible as PDF in every video. So that's my mission and that's my goal I'm starting with today. I'm Christian and I'm a product manager for more than 1.5 decades. I worked for 15 years in product management for companies such as SumUp, Trade Republic, or in Silicon Valley around the globe, building great digital products. I've noticed that more than 90% of the features or products that are being built are simply failing. I would like to share with you the thinking process of building successful products and the communication, marketing, and strategizing methodologies that are being used by the products that have been built that I've seen that worked out very well for the market. And therefore, you can see me failing, fighting with Claude code, with designs, and all that kind of stuff around it in order to build something that eventually will be later played and bought by people. Let's jump right into it, because before I start building my tooling and setting it up, I have to figure out what I want to do actually, and this is something that we will look at together in a Miro board. Okay, so let's first of all figure out what we need to do here, because this is going to be something big and eventually complex, and a little bit of system thinking will help us. The first thing we need to do is we're going to create YouTube videos. And for that, I need a recording tool, which is at the moment Descript. I just decided to go with that tool because all the other ones are, in my opinion, too fucked up when it comes to editing them afterwards. Descript gives me the flexibility to add everything I want afterwards. So if I want to put in nice graphics or a little bit of boxes with information, this is super easy with Descript. I'm definitely not using DaVinci Resolve because I don't know how to cut. So therefore, that's a decision I made. And I really like that. So the thing is though, and I can also upload immediately to YouTube, which is perfect. This is something that is very good. But what I need additionally is a process that I will develop with Claude Code, which is the whole YouTube description, title, and much more creation. So this will require some work. So let's figure out how we do that. So the things that are decided, we make them green. Let's do it like that. And the things that are open must be yellowish. And the main headline or category we're working at, we do this pinky pink. Okay, so the script process is done. So YouTube, Claude, and stuff like this will be built in a minute with you together. And what else do we have? We also need to design a YouTube thumbnail. Now we can just say thumbnail design / style. And by the way, in case you don't like my design skills or something like that, please comment anytime and tell me what I can do better. But I was already thinking about some cool things, how we can make really nice YouTube thumbnails. So with that said, we have everything that is related to the YouTube video. We can update, publish, and launch at any time. We can use the script for that. And we need to build a little bit of, let's say, half-automated process with Claude Code in order to have everything we want when it comes to an SEO-optimized video description and all this kind of stuff. So we will jump a little bit between the products and tools today to set this up one more time. So this is one thing. Then what do I want to share is not only YouTube, but we also want to create at the end of the day a summary of what I have built. So the YouTube video that you're seeing right now is the result of the session. Another result of the session will be a blog article. So I have currently a website, which is the christianstrunk.com. We're going to reuse that. Strunk.com. We have a kind of CMS system, which means I can easily create blog articles and launch them and update them anytime. It's half automated. So I have to trigger this process with Claude Code, but honestly, I'm currently not worried about fully automating everything I'm doing right now. This project is just at the beginning and I need to make learnings. So a big mistake that we could do at the beginning of this project is to think everything completely through by not knowing how things will develop. We need to get away from too many hypotheses here and rather focus on the MVP, so to say, so the minimum viable thing I can do. Actually, if we're honest, the minimum viable thing is just a YouTube video for itself. But since I like to build a built-in public channel that I would have loved to follow and watch myself many years ago, there are a little bit of tweaks and features that I'm adding here on top of that. So we have christianstrong.com, but we need a skill in Claude to make sure that the page that is being created will always follow certain rules and has like a similar structure. It's a skill in Claude for blog posts creation. So this is something we have to do as well. Good. And the way we do that is, or the parts we need, so it's a little bit of a subtask, is the transcript of this video, obviously. Transcript. And another part is in Claude Code, I will track every prompt I enter during a session. So this is very important because I am so sick and tired of YouTube videos that will tell you 29 tips to better use Claude Code and 38 prompts that will change your life, yada yada. If this would be true and this would really help as people would promise it, then everyone would be rich and we wouldn't need to work anymore. It's like this video is about how to manifest $1 million. So yeah, if that's true, honestly, we know what that would mean. Therefore, there is like the Claude session logs that I also need, and these both will then play into this skill or this process that I will build within Claude Code in order to create this page. That's something that is very important in order to have a continuous flow of what I'm building. Then there is another thing, which is the engagement part. Obviously, I'm doing this for myself, of course, but I'm also happy when people follow me. And I want people to follow me on YouTube, obviously, but in case they want to get all the prompts from me, well, that's something we should maybe add. Provide prompts and session recap as PDF. The blog post is one thing, but on the other hand, I also want you to be able to download all the kind of things and then you can read it again, or you can throw it by yourself into your Claude or other AI that you are using. This is very important to me, that you can get, after every video that I do or while I'm doing it and while you're watching it, a PDF that contains a summary of my learnings, of my fuck-ups, and especially of the prompts. Therefore, this is the reason why I'm logging the Claude Code sessions anyway. But I want your email address. So let's say this is called newsletter engagement. So there's always something that you want back, and we're doing business here. So that means it's, in my opinion, totally fine to ask for something in return, especially when you provide stuff for free on the internet. And I can tell you that I'm not spamming people. I'm sending out high value content. And the goal of this is to make it as high value as possible. And if there's something missing, if you want additional information from the sessions that I'm having here that should be part of this PDF, let me know. We're building this together. That's why it's built in public. Good. With that, a newsletter tool we have, it's called MailerLite. So this is decided. I like MailerLite. I used to work with make.com and N8N in the past, but I decided to go away from that because you can build everything by yourself on a server with Claude Code and Python or other backend functionalities. Why should I use and waste so much time in building it, especially in N8N, which is, in my opinion, a terrible user experience and takes hours to set up APIs and keys and connections. Honestly, I do it rather one time with a real backend than wasting my time doing it in N8N. I'm sorry, I'm completely against using those tools. I'm not against it in general, but for myself, I need to make that clear. So MailerLite is set, and what I want to do is, so in every YouTube description that I'm posting must be a link. And this link should lead directly to the page that we have created as a blog post. And within that, we need a little bit of a box. And this box says download or get the free prompts. So maybe we show 1 or 2 prompts already. The rest is blurred. You know how this marketing stuff works. So this is one idea I'm having. The other idea I'm having is to just create a landing page with get the prompt from video, and then we load in based on the video link, the title, and you just need to sign up and we immediately send you the link. But the user experience would be, in my opinion, the best if you land on the blog article. So this is the best for me, because if you want blog article to rank on Google, it's important that there are engagement signals, and an engagement signal is if people stay long on the page. So this is a little bit SEO knowledge that I'm sharing here on top of that. That means YouTube and Google is the same company. If people jump between YouTube videos and websites, that's very good. Therefore, yeah, you have to scroll to the bottom and then you can download it. That's very nice. What I should do is, there is this box, you enter your email address, and after you entered your email address, with an email address verification, of course, it will automatically trigger the download. I think that's the best thing. And then you will get an opt-in email from me, which I have to do for regulatory reasons in Europe, in Germany, thanks to GDPR, which we all not love. So you immediately, as a user, get what you want, which is the PDF, and I am getting a chance to land in your inbox if you want or not. Okay, that's a good flow. Let's take that. I like this. Download box on blog article, and then we say enter mail, start download, trigger MailerLite automation, which will be the opt-in, of course, and afterwards we will have a nice email sequence that will send you high-value emails. So the whole marketing strategy around how to build email sequences that convert is a topic for itself. I can't wait to do that. This is something that we will eventually do in a separate video. But for today, I want to build the, first of all, basic setup, and the working out of the marketing stuff will be a separate video, because yeah, otherwise it would get too long. Is there something I'm missing? Okay, there's nothing that is missing, but I'm just realizing the PDF is a bigger topic. But let's talk about it later, because I can create a plain PDF. So the question is, would you like to have something that is designed very cool or not? Or should it be just plain text because you throw it into an LLM anyway? So a question that I cannot answer for you right now as the audience. But something that I know is, I have recently had a project with a coach, and we created a questionnaire with a PDF as a result. And he's selling this for 30 bucks. And the result you get is just a plain PDF with text, and he's making money with that. I'm not making money with that at all for now, but it's just telling me that I should not spend too much time in designing the PDF now and rather focus on the MVP. And this is actually the important part, to regularly remind yourself, what am I doing here and why am I doing this? If people will complain later on that the PDFs are not designed very nice, which I don't believe, there is enough reason to rebuild that. Or when I have time in my spare time, because I love to have consistent design across my platforms. Nevertheless, in order to get started, we all know the fastest way would be to just have a plain PDF. Good. All right. With that said, we will now move on to the next stage of this video, which is start building and designing the things that are relevant in order to get started. Okay, there is a little bit of a chicken and egg problem here, because I don't have the transcript yet and all the prompts, but at the same time I need to set it up. So what I will do is, however, with Claude, we need to come up with a process. What I'm having is currently the Hero Journey folder. So this is the game that I'm going to develop. And there are two things in it. So the Claude.md, and the Claude.md is very simply set up. I'm not reading through it. You can just look at it later. Then you download it, or you just press stop and you read it by yourself. But the thing is, with the Claude.md, there are many people who have Claude.md templates, for example. I'm not using them. I am against that, because I believe the Claude.md is something that continuously needs to be developed further and evolve within the project. So we have skills, we have maybe reference files that we use, or reference within the Claude.md, execute certain processes and stuff like this. The whole part of how to build good code with AI systems is something we will look into. I've learned a lot from very good engineers I've worked with in the past. But overall, I think we need to stay focused on the most important thing. So currently this Claude.md mainly tracks the context on what I'm doing here, which is building a game, and the process of logging the whole thing here that I'm building. And with that, I would say let's get into it, because the first prompt, or the first thing I need to figure out is, I have this project, christianstrunk_com, which is my website project. And every time I create a built-in public video, I need to create a blog post on this website in this referenced project. So my question is now, what is actually my question? My question is, how do we trigger this? How should we trigger that? How should we first develop? Okay, we need to do two things. How should we create the process? Should it come out of this project, or should I do it within the other project? That's a good question, actually. So let's ask and figure out what Claude says. Afterwards, we define the process on how an article must look like. And very important here is I have many SEO references and tools already in my project in the christianstrunk.com folder and in the MDs. So that's something we need to take care of. I think the answer is actually almost clear. I think we need to do this in strunk.com project. Okay, good. That's good to know. Long story short, what we need to do is we need to create a process within the christianstrunk.com. Let's do this quickly. The good thing is I have the folders here. The question is, should we create the folders with the sessions then rather in the other project instead of here? Okay, that makes sense. I need to set up the process for that. All right. So that means actually if we go back to the board, the whole process of this part here, this is right now what I'm building, must live in christianstrunk.com. Okay, that means then let's get out this project. First of all, we need to establish a new blog on our project/website. We have currently, so just as a reference, christianstrunk.com. This is my website and I have the blog. What I need is, I need an additional blog because in the future, I do not only want to reference to the article / blog pages, I also want to establish my new product journal. That means we need to have a journal page, and once people press on the blog, they should be able to select between both of them. The good thing is design system and all that kind of stuff is in place. Therefore, I need to quickly discuss with Claude on how we do this best. Yeah, so I need to explain what I'm doing, and built-in public thing must be referenced. You will get the session logs as well as the transcript. These are the two things that I will provide, as well as the YouTube link, which must be provided within each particular article. No articles without video, obviously. That's something at the end of each page. You add a context. Now again, it's something good that we need to talk about. So when it comes to creating context, it's important to tell Claude what, for example, the logs contain, right? The logs, the session logs, contain a tracking of my Claude code sessions and each prompt I've entered, as well as a summary of the result. Important here is that we will have a collection of prompts, and we need to make sure that these are be highlighted at the end of the article. The prompts must be highlighted at the end of each article. We need to design that because we show the first prompt. The rest is blurred. And people can enter their email address, which will create a subscriber. Subscriber in MailerLite, and automatically start the download of the PDF file with all the prompts. Ultra think deeply about it. Ask questions if you have. Boom. That's something we let him do now. Now we have an issue because I'm not using Ghost anymore. So I've changed that. It looks like that there is something not updated. So this is something we need to let him look into. But other than that, everything he says, prompts gated. So I think we need inside each, we need a folder inside this project where I can create a new subfolder for each episode so that you can look into it and start the process. We also need a process.md or a markdown file, the file for the whole process we are working out right now. So now here's the thing with the introduction of skills. I need to ask whether, because in the past I always had reference MDs, if he wants to make a skill out of it or rather a reference file as we have. I leave this up to Claude. A reference file like our Blueprint MDs that we have, or do you want to create a skill for yourself? That's a question we let him look into right now. Okay, so that's interesting, right? Okay, he has some wrong information. I'm gonna let him clean that up. Docs, okay, build improvement. We use the same file, reference file. Okay, he wants to go with the reference file first. That's also okay. Start with the blueprint. The question is also product journal-wise, should we add numbers? That's a good question. Actually, it's nice. We can add numbers. Yeah, okay, let's do it like this. We do it like the slug, but the H1 should be 001 and so on. Yeah, let's do it like that. Yeah, I think we should not put the number into the slug. Okay, small recap here. The folder structure is good. I like it. The slug is okay. We give it a number. And before we create a blueprint MD, we have some blueprint MDs already. And I want him to scan the whole SEO folder so that we make sure that each article we create follows certain SEO and GEO, which is generative engine optimization rules, so that we are hitting everything on the spot and will go crazy and be the first and most successful product page in the universe. That's something we need to tell him as well. Blueprint as well as scan each file. This folder is called SEO_strategy to make sure you build the best reference MD following SEO and GEO best practices. That's important. Work diligently and be thorough is a prompt that I really love. You know that certain types of words within the prompt will trigger certain actions and behavior of the AI. I'm not sure if there are scientific studies around it, but I've made good experiences and also created good outcomes with this work diligently and be thorough. So let's hit them with that. Okay, now we have a blueprint. And this is a very long document, I can tell you that, because there are many rules to be applied, forbidden rules, tracker, progress, and the whole way on how I practice SEO and kind of stuff. This will be available for you later as well. I need to go through it afterwards to just make sure that there are no process or information in it that are not for the public, so to say. But overall, this is something I will give you. And yeah, so this is what happens when you spend a lot of time with building SEO optimized websites. There is a lot of knowledge in. I spent a time where I looked through the internet and found for myself people I really love following when it comes to SEO, geo, and all that kind of stuff. I watched many YouTube videos until I realized I can just take the video transcription, transcribe a YouTube video, and then, yeah, distill the knowledge into my whole process. So I've done this many times and I'm continuously doing this because the whole SEO and geo landscape is changing continuously. And this is now the result, and I'm happy to share that with you as well. This will be now automatically added to the process. And since I love to try things out, I will pause this video here for now, take the first prompts and sessions and just throw it in to see how the first version will look like. I'm back, and the cool thing is I was super productive in between. Before I downloaded, obviously, the transcript, I was editing the video completely with a couple of clicks. A big part of this video has been cut now and is ready to be shipped. And additionally, I have also the first version of the transcript. I have created a folder, which is 001 in my episodes folder, where I'm going to store everything now in the future. I have created the prompt logs as well as the transcript, and I'm now going to tell Claude to build the first page. And the cool thing is, while I'm having this discussion with Claude, I just told Claude before that we need to change the process because I just want to create a folder and drop everything into it. The cool thing is now that Claude asking me for a YouTube link. And I was like, if Claude is asking me for a link, I can do something else. I'm going to tell Claude, hey, I will give you the link in chat. The link in chat. In chat together with the command to create the new page. Also, as outcome, you create now comes the fun part. So what I want to tell Claude now is, I want to tell Claude, hey, because we are hitting two birds with one stone, to create a title for my YouTube video as well as an SEO optimized YouTube video description. So with that, we quickly hitting into my YouTube content area, because something that I need to work out, which I haven't done yet, is I need chapters, obviously, but what I also need is, I have the follow me links. Cool. So let's do it like this. And I just need to decide, okay, how should it look like? Okay, link to my product journal. So this must be changed in the future. It must be called product journal / journal. I'm not saving this. It's just the product bakery podcast is deprecated for now. Instagram I'm not doing. Follow me. So, and then we can also say, especially for now, get the prompts here. So this is the most important part, get the prompts here. So this is something we put on top. So with an emoji, what kind of emoji do we want to have? Rocket, obviously. Follow me. What is following me? Star? Yeah, star. Or is this too fancy? Okay. Anyway, so let's do it like this. Get the prompts here, and now we put then the related slug in here. /slug. So the way it should look is like this. So we're going to tell Claude now to create a SEO optimized YouTube video description and title suggestions. Let's say 3 in total, as well as thumbnail text, thumbnail suggestion, text on thumbnail, not too much, in 1 MD. The MD must always contain this, as well as chapters at the end. Boom. If I'm going to tell him this whole process will be much more accelerated than I originally planned. And the cool thing is then we have the transcript, and the session log is something that I'm going to give it. It will create everything that is needed. And then the last part we need is just to provide the prompts as PDF, which I will do separately. I think this is something we are very good to go. And now let's let him do the work. Okay, so now I would say we give it a try. Everything is in the folder. Create journal 001. Folder is there. Okay, so now is the thing. I've got some feedback. I've provided both files. And now I need to straighten the process, which takes a little bit of time. I'm going to make this short here and give him some more feedback on what he was doing. The pillar he's asking for is also related to my SEO strategy. Now we talk rather built in public is the better pillar. Afterwards, start local host 3000 for me to test. Good. So what I'm going to do now is there's one thing I don't understand 100%, so I'm going to let him do the work. And afterwards, we should be able to see what the outcome is of our first version. All right, so Claude has done its work, and on localhost, we can check out the page now. So there is this new product journal that I've just added. It's not in the way I would like to have it design-wise, which I'm going to polish afterwards. You don't have to go through that. But as you can see, we have now a page with context, with a journey on what I built, as well as decisions I've made and some learnings, as well as the transcript. But I'm going to adjust this page a little bit. You will be able to see the designed outcome afterwards. And then we can talk about the next step on being able to download this particular prompt file. Next to that, very important to mention is that we also have now the YouTube MD. So let's take a quick look into this. This will give me all the information that I need to produce the video and add the description. So so here are some things. I think when it comes to chapters, I like shorter chapters, rather less than more. So here are a couple of things that I'm going to polish. But overall, we have built a running system within less than half an hour. I have redesigned now the /journal page as well as the subpage. It looks exactly like my /blog page. It's not perfect, but I'm happy with it for now. I have restyled it a little bit, and I also now have the gated content here. And now you can enter your email address, and afterwards the download starts. So the last part of this big thing that we are building today is to automatically trigger the download as well as trigger the automation in MailerLite. And while I was thinking about it, I was like, should it be actually a PDF or just a TXT file? So I don't want to make it too complicated. And this is exactly why we're now asking Claude Code, because we have a sparring partner who knows how to get shit done, right? I want to create a subscriber after entering the email address via MailerLite. The thing is, I said that I am against using make.com and building it myself. But on the other hand, I do have a webhook and a running function already. I want to provide the PDF with all the prompts. Or alternatively, we can also create a simple TXT. What do you suggest? And how would you solve either challenge? Now we're going to a kind of plan mode, a discussion mode with Claude to figure out what would be the best way to execute that. And by the way, you will see the final version of what I'm building here in the video description. So in case you're scrolling down right now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if there are any questions, wishes, or feedback, let me know anytime in the comments. That would help a lot. Okay, as we can see, I'm getting pushback and feedback from Claude to also say just create a TXT, it's easier. And the people watching my YouTube videos, they are rather power users, so it's fine for me to have the TXT as well. I would be fine with it if I would download it. Why wasting time on also on long term having a nice designed PDF? Who reads PDFs, right? So good. This is already set, so it's going to be a TXT, which means we need to update the process. We need to update the process for the future to include the TXT creation during the page creation together with the transcript and prompt analysis. Okay, I made a decision. I am lazy, so I'm going to reuse my existing webhook for my newsletter subscriber creation, because this will save me a lot of time instead of rebuilding it now myself, which means I'm going to tell Claude, please reuse the current webhook for my newsletter sign up in order to make this process to start. We also need to add the email verification in terms of the library that checks for scam /10-minute mails and typo validation. Good. Please tell me again what we send as payload to the webhook, because what we actually need is an identification that says, hey, this particular subscriber comes from the product journal and wants to get access to prompts and all that kind of stuff, because what I'm going to create as well later on is a separate page where you can find all prompts from all different episodes I have, maybe even a different prompt library. So I think that's important to add here. We need to add a identifier that the person subscribed from product journal to add them to the appropriate group. Sorry for my typos sometimes, but Claude is smart enough. Good, so Claude has built it and we're now testing whether it works. And we have to do two things for that. I have my automation, which I'm going to start. I have the automation that says, okay, when the webhook comes in, I check if someone has signed up for my game or for my newsletter. There was a different product game in the past, you can ignore this. But if it says newsletter, then I will add the person automatically to the newsletter. I need to enhance this later on because I need to decide whether someone comes from my blog or particularly from the journal pages, because then they will get the download and the access to much more. So therefore, this will happen later, but I'm going to let it run once to see if everything works as expected. So test@test.com is the email that we're going to try out. And we say now, unlock all prompts. Okay, so this is not a good email address. This is very nice. This is something that we should do, christianstrunk.com. And so we can do that. All right, so download folder has started. We have downloaded something, which is really good. We have all the prompts here. Amazing, that works as expected. And now let's check make.com. The webhook went through as well. Product journal, test, some source URL. So perfect, it works as expected. The only thing I have to do is now I have to expand the make.com automation with another router that distinguishes between blog or not. And then we're good to go. Okay, form name must be product journal. Yeah, we can do that. Let's do this quickly. What have I done here? Form name. And then we say product journal. Good. Filter. Product journal. Save. And then we clone this module, put it in here. This part can be deleted. Save. They have changed the interface. How can I clean up the grid? Anyway, good. And what I have to do now is I have to add a group. I have created a group in MailerLite already, which is the product journal. People who will join this newsletter now will be automatically applied to the product journal group, and this will automatically trigger an automation. So, big stuff of work has been done now. Save. This is ready, and now the last part is just to go to MailerLite and do the rest of the work. The very last part that I have to do is I have to create a new automation. We call this double opt-in product journal. The thing is, because I was just looking into my previous emails, I was like, damn, what kind of crazy stuff was I doing in the past? But so if a person joins a group, if a user joins a group, like this one here, then we're going to say, okay, it must be the journal. And once a person enters that, we're going to send out an email. Send email, very simple. The only thing we need to take care of is now, it's a double opt-in email. And I need to design the email with a CTA. And once someone presses that CTA, then we're going to hit webhook. And this webhook will add the person to another group, which is then the confirmed group. And with that, the original automation will start. So in case you're not pressing that button, you will never move forward. And I will automatically clean up the unconfirmed people staying in that group from time to time, which is also legally required. Therefore, this is what I'm going to do. The name is subject. We need to discuss action required. Love that. Action required. Get your prompts. Your product prompts. Should we say get your product prompts? Is that even cooler? I don't know. Double opt-in. We call it as it is. Pre-header we don't need. Add parameters. Yeah, it's always important. And now we're going to design that mail. I have had a couple of emails designed in the past, and I like the style, so choose. So the question is also how much gamification I'm going to add. In the past, I had the idea to reward users by using and scrolling through my website with coins, and later on they can do something with coins. This was the product game that I was building in the past, but now I'm moving towards another game. Building two gamifications at the same time is a little bit too much for me. So this is why I'm going to remove this baby here for now. You signed up for the product journal prompts. If you would like to stay on top with building in product real world guidance, should we call it guidance? Is it guidance that I'm giving? No, with real world products. In public, actually. The button below to join the community. So I think this is okay, right? I'm not a big fan of asking the AI for everything. Because what will happen if you confirm, you will get access to all prompts of my prompt library. Prompt library for free. You get weekly high value updates with insights, prompts, templates, and more. You can unsubscribe anytime. Deal? And then you press that button. That's actually it. And more. Subscribe at any time. We don't have a name. Hey there. How do you want me to call you? Hey there. Hi name. Should we make it like real hi name? Hi unknown. Hey there. I think WhatsApp was very smart with that one. So I'm going to copy that for now. You sign up for the product journal. If you'd like to stay on top, building product, please. I'm too used to press the button below to join the community. Good. So this is not text color black. Why is this not black? It should be black. So press the button, play. Good. So if you press it by by pressing play, you opt in to receive email and update. You can opt out anytime. Good. So actually I have this. I don't need to write this twice, right? Good. So press the button play. Do you like play or is it not cool? Let me know. So here I need to make some changes as well because I'm not on Instagram anymore with my Pixel Strong account. So it's just linked in YouTube. I don't like anymore when it's too color-ish. So we go back to black, outline, circle, yeah, squared. That's okay, right? Actually, let's leave it like that. That's good. All right. So done. So the only thing I have to do is I have to add the link. I'm going to add the webhook link, and this webhook link will then trigger another automation in make.com, which will add the person then to this weekly newsletter. And the weekly newsletter is something that I will work out in a separate video, but now we are fully set up to get started with building in public. Before I forget it, there is still the whole process of the thumbnail. Actually, I don't want to make a process out of it because these were my previous ones and I think they are more than outdated. The good thing is there are some shortcuts I can take. I mean, as you can see in my background here, there is already a very nice designed theme. This is, by the way, the spring theme, which means I can reuse that actually for my thumbnails eventually. Let's try it out. Okay, so I need a screenshot of myself, I guess. Let's take that quickly. Oh my God, I look like an absolute weirdo, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want to play around a little bit here. So I'm going to remove the background, put myself in again. I'm just wondering if this is too much. So I think we need to add a little bit like a box with drop shadow. Maybe not the same color, but this is kind of helpful, I guess. These both need to be grouped. This one should be white, right? Oh my God, we can definitely not take this picture, but okay. And then this title of this video is... So I'm not sure how you feel, but maybe we need to add some opacity for the YouTube video because this is a little bit too strong. Yeah, this is nice. 60%. We can go with that. Oh, nice. Wait. Let's take these two babies here. There are groups. Make it a little bit smaller, and then we can just add it. Okay, the CTAs and this kind of stuff is really not needed. We used make.com this time a little bit, but we used Claude Code and MailerLite. So I need to quickly find the logos. MailerLite, logo PNG, images. So let's take this one here and then Claude Code, PNG. So what do people like these days? So this one here, and everyone knows this baby here. Good. All right. So can't remember last time I had designed so fast in Canva. Wow. Like it. So we removed the old logo here. So I can't wait for Claude to sue me for changing the logos. So funny. MailerLite, same game. No, here we actually don't need to change anything despite spacing. Done. And I would like to add, so what I've done here with this logo is there's a custom background like we have here. We eventually need to do that as well. Oh. And I love the drop shadows. Drop shadows are so cool. I know many people say these days you don't use drop shadow stuff anymore, but I disagree fundamentally. People who are not using drop shadows in their designs are not real designers. Send to back, layer, bring forward. Good. It's clicked. So is there any chance? Yep, it is. So there we go. Does that look good? Yeah. We can go with that. The drop shadow has been fucked up. Okay, need to unroot this. I don't like touching things twice, but it is what it is. So this must be a little bit bigger. They're all on the same height. Drop shadow is bigger. Okay. And here we go again, the same with the MailerLite. Bring to front. Yeah. Holy cow. So these are the 3 tools we use today, right? This, and that. Okay, let's remove this. This image is driving me crazy. I look much better in real, I can tell you that. Good. MailerLite, Claude, make.com. Now the H1, so that we need to discuss the thumbnail. I have the YouTube MD file. Let's look into that again. Here it is. So thumbnail, YouTube blog. I automated my blog. Built-in public setup, step by step. This is something we can say, right? Text, built-in public setup. So all left aligned. I need to move the camera a little bit. Good. Built-in public setup. So then we have my beloved Pixel Operator mono font. This is the one I also have on my website. I love it so much. But what have we done here? Okay. So let's copy this. Built in public. Is that cool? Cool. Not really, right? Since when are spaces so big? Okay, very simple hack, very dirty. If the font is not as good as you want to have it, you need to make it good, which is ignoring it and just pushing pixels around until it fits. So built-in public, bam, here we go. So I think we need to add and mention the step-by-step process eventually, because that's at least what I like. Step by step. So of course we do this much, oh, we can go with 50, something like that, 60 eventually. Good. So I'm just wondering, I mean, when it comes to styles, now the question is again, how do we do the background? Do we need this thing here at all? That doesn't look bad as well, right? Built-in public, step by step. So this is now the part where you just play around. And I don't want to spend too much time on these kind of things usually, but once built, they look good. I hope so. Public. So I mean, here the same thing, right? It's pissing me off, but it's very dirty. But since I'm not a designer, I have always the excuse that I'm not a designer. My design friend, Alex Dapunt, the one I was doing the Product Bakery podcast, he always told me as a design lead who works for crazy companies that it doesn't matter how you design. Most important thing is that this shit looks good and is working. And I agree as well with that. I think this looks really nice here. The only thing I want to improve is eventually the background opacity. Maybe we can go down to 50. And then we add a good looking image of myself as well. And then we have the future design. Okay, I'm going to add the screenshot again of me, which looks terrible. I'm going to do a better one, but just in order to close the session, I think. So send to back, because then, and bring it to the front one time, like that. Okay, this one must be, should it look like this or like that? Good. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not perfect, and I'm going to need to adjust it, but the future design of the thumbnails could look like this. I'm going to do some A/B testing eventually, but I think most important thing is to get started. And with that said, I think this is everything we have planned for today in one session. This was the intro and the beginning of this Build in Public journey. And if you enjoyed it, I highly recommend you scrolling down, hitting the subscribe button. And you can as well always leave a comment and reach out to me for questions. And stay tuned for the next video.